Hey guys, Tennessee Yankee. Hey, I wanted to show you guys what I'm up to in the Can-Am. I'm installing, well, I guess I didn't tell you guys yet. I sold the Swamp Donkey. You probably saw it in one of the other videos. It was a good stereo. It was just really loud, which is what we're looking for, but this machine is so loud I decided to go with the comm system. So I just ordered the Rugged Radio 696 intercom, and I got the Alpha Bass headsets coming. So I'm trying to get ready and prepare for that. It's coming tomorrow. So what I'm doing is I also bought the expensive piece of plastic that I never thought I would want, because I always just use my RAM mounts for my tablet. But I decided I wanted to kind of conceal the Rugged Radio unit. So I'll show you what I got here. So I just pulled out the instrument panel here, and actually to get that out, you just kind of gently pull on it, pull out straight, and it gets these two tabs out. And then inside here there's a metal tab on each side, so once you pull it out, just pull down a little bit and it comes right off pretty easy. But what I wanted to do here is I'm gonna install my intercom right in here, right on this board. So I just had an old piece of kitchen trim laying around, so I cut it and put some stainless screws in here, and there's actually some different dimples in this plastic piece right under here. So I don't know what Can-Am has you mount here. Maybe the heater unit or whatever would have screwed into here. So I just took a piece of paper, used a template, and just put this board here, and it's really in there steady and tight. And then what I'll do is I'll just mount my L brackets to here to hold my Rugged Radio, and then that also gives me a little bit more clearance so I can reach back in here and get to the plug, because if I was to just mount it directly to the plastic piece under here, it was going to hang down too much and be in the way of that. So we'll do that. And then I just drilled the holes for the Can-Am tablet holder. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. But basically what you do, the easiest way to do it is to first set it on here, and it goes on like this. As of course, if you were trying to do this same setup, it goes on here like this, and then there's the two holes in the back that are already drilled in there, and those actually line up. I should have showed you before I drilled this, but there's just also two little dimples here, so I just took my awl, made a little hole, and then drilled those out. And that has a little black Torx screw that goes in there, and then also once I put that on, and then once that was on there, let's show you this here. Once that was screwed into where it needed to go, I just took my marker and made some circular holes there, and then took it back off and drilled those out as well. So for the back, there's some Torx screws they provide, and then for the front, there's just two little Torx bolts with a nut that goes underneath. That's why you need to remove this, so you'll be able to get to the nut. So once I install the radio tomorrow, or the intercom, and run that wiring, then I'll go ahead and put this unit on. And I'll probably, it came with some foam, so we'll want to foam that on and then try to get a little bit better seal before we put it on. So more to come, but this is kind of the prep before it comes in. All right, so I just got the kit from Rugged Radios. This is the 696 intercom kit, and I got two of the Alpha Bass headsets, and then I ordered a filter for you know, electrical feedback or whatever, to get rid of the noise. I'll open this 696 intercom box because it seemed like they didn't have quite all the details on their website as far as what was included in here. Because the lady told me that this came with brackets in the kit, but it didn't say it came with brackets, but they are in here. So We get the just the L brackets. This is the radio. Make sure that I'm in the camera here. So volume, play, pause, forward, back, and then in the back looks like we got this is for future radio if you want to add it for vehicle to vehicle. And then you got headset back here, so you could hook up to 4 headsets up to this auxiliary, push to talk. There's a fuse block on there, and then some leads. We'll have to put some ends on for the battery. And then they also included push to talk buttons, which I found out these really have no use at the moment. If I add a radio later, then they'd be used for that. So those will just go into storage. And then it looks like we got 2 12-foot cables. So we'll run these from the radio back to the seat areas. And then this is, I guess, probably where we'll plug our headset into that. And then we got stickers, and it looks like some good instructions here. So let's see what one of the headsets look like. Get a bag for the headset. Instructions. And these particular headsets, they're the Alpha base, so they have like a separate power source. So I guess they'll have normal operation if they were out of power, but then the extra, base when they got full power. And they got a adjustable boom mic here. That's pretty nice. Nice pad. One thing I don't see is ear cap covers. I know some of the other items had those. You can kind of put over it to keep them clean, or have a removable washable thing there, so I'll have to look into that. And then they got volume control knobs on the bottom, and there's a volume up here. I think one's for specifically for the bass. But carbon fiber looks like pretty good construction overall. So, and then let's see, this would plug into the headset. Need to figure out exactly how that pops off. And then I assume, let's see, does this go this way, the easy way? Yes, that's nice. So that's how you hook and unhook from the seat. So I just put the inline filter on. So they have these adapters, these plugs on the battery line and coming out of the unit. So you just easily connect it in there, and then, like I said, we'll put some ends on there and run that directly to the battery. And then I took one of those plugs that was in the headphones and I put that in the radio to protect those pins, since we're not going to be using that at this time. Alright, I got the radio bracketed into my wood grain board from yesterday. So next step, I'm going to figure out where I want to drill a hole in that plastic back there to run the wires through. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove the seats and remove all the cowling here so we can run that stuff back through the machine. So now I'm going to drill a hole just big enough to get one of these through. So probably right about here. I'll probably end up trying to also store my filter up here. That should do the trick. Quick little update here. There might have been enough wire. This is where their wire ends. But I had to put, rings on it anyway. So I just, this whole section, I got them crimped together. I got them soldered. I got them heat shrunk. Then I have it electrical taped. And then I have one more outside fatter heat shrink. So I put a red heat shrink on my positive and a black heat shrink on my negative. So right now I'm just putting some loom around this all the way back to the plug here, and then I'll run the wire. Okay, wiring update. I got everything plugged in there. Those pins went in really nice. They lock in. And got the fuse block, 2 amp fuse block outside here. And then down here, I got everything ran, loosely zip tied. I have all of the extra headset wire right here. And then what I decided to do for now, I think it seems like the best spot, is I just attached them to the seat belt. So that's where I'll hook into them. And then I got my loom I showed you, the yellow, red positive, yellow, black negative, going to the battery menagerie. So let's start putting some of the covers back on so we can sit in there and give it a try. Ooh, good news, check this out. Blue light, we got power. So here's the finished product. Got the windshield back on again. For those of you with the Tusk windshield, with the Can-Am tablet holder, it kind of rendered the vent worthless because, I mean, it still opens. I'd have to come up with some other solution, but the controller for the vent is right here, and that's covered up by this. So this is what I got right now. I showed you earlier how I had the cord coming to there. I plugged it in. I just got it wrapped around there, and it's the headset sitting up there for now. Gave them a quick listen, and they sounded pretty good. Everything was working well, so we'll have to see how it does with the noise cancellation. And then here's what the inside looks like put back together. So this turned out pretty good. Got the tablet sitting on there, and then the rugged radio mounted on the inside. Okay guys, 24 hours later after the ride, I got some feedback for you guys on the headset. So worked really good. I really liked it. I was able to talk to my wife, and took a little bit of work getting the mic set up just right. It's really important to keep it, close to your lips. You get used to that. And let's see what else. So my initial thoughts are that I do not like their skip and volume button. Let me turn this around and show it to you. Actually, before I do that. So this here is the bass volume. You can see the green light on. It's kind of got like a bass driver in there. You can turn it completely off, and then turn it on. You get a green light. You can kind of hear it. And then this is the overall volume. So the only gripes I have, well, a few gripes I have so far is, number one, I didn't charge this a long time when I first got it, but the light was green, which says it should have a full charge. It's supposed to last up to 12 hours. And we were probably riding 2 hours yesterday before I noticed that the bass in both of our headsets just completely was gone already. I didn't look to see if the light had changed color, so that might have been an issue, or I should have checked that out to see. But it was gone. I turned it on and off several times. I let them rest for an hour, turned it back on, nothing. So today, I still haven't charged it, but I turned them on, and they seem to be working good. So it's almost like they're still charged, but they time out after a while. I don't know what it is. So I'll keep you guys informed on that. But let me show you on the rugged radio itself some of the feedback I have on the skip. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so again, here's my setup, and what I noticed yesterday is a lot of times if I really wanted to skip a song, it's almost easier to just grab my phone and do it. That's what I started doing eventually, because what they have is they have the volume and the skip button is integrated into one. And what it takes is it takes a hard press to get it to skip, which should be fine. But the problem is, even when I do a hard press, it always turns the volume up at least one notch. So these should almost be independent of each other, or I don't know if it's a programming thing or what, but it was impossible for me to even just do an instant hard press and get it to skip without the volume going up, which annoyed my wife because we already had it set at the highest volume she liked. And that's what I noticed too. Even though we have independent volume controls on our headset, you're still maxed out on your headset by the max volume on here. So I pretty much would have had it a notch or two higher, but it was too high for her because she couldn't turn her volume all the way down to 0 on the headset. Part of it had to be controlled through here. So I guess those would be my gripes about it. But overall, the biggest problem was the bass issue yesterday. So we'll see what happens with that in the future. I'll give them make sure that they're on there a long time before we go next time. But it was really nice. This did a good job blocking out a lot of the machine noise. You still hear it, but these have hearing protection built in as far as that's concerned. So it did a nice job on that. So I'll keep you guys informed on what's going on with it. Let me show you this. This boom mic is really nice. It's easy to move away. It ratchets. And the headsets were really comfortable all day long yesterday. We rode for about 8-9 hours, and I didn't have any issue whatsoever with the comfort of the headset. So I hope this is helpful. I'll see you on a future video. I'll give you an update on what's going on with it. But I appreciate you watching, and I'd appreciate a subscribe if you like the content on this channel. And go ahead and hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next video.